Welcome to greencardguys.tv. You need to know this. Do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. Doing all right. I been going live in the evening, a little bit later at night when the family's asleep. And it's more so because there's just recent things going on with immigration. So I've just got this energy that I just got to share with y'all. Fortunately, even though I've been sick the past week or so. So yeah, I was more sick during the day and somehow got energy because I found out, as I like to research every day, that the fees officially have been announced that they will increase effective. Don't worry, not today. April 1st, 2024. Okay. Hey, thanks, R. Appreciate it. Let's see how much time my body will give me so I can share my time with y'all. But yeah, I've been predicting this since last year, of course, because the fee proposal in the federal rule register went out last year. Okay, so it only took 60 days, as any federal proposal has 60 days for comment period. So that's long gone. All right, so let's get down to it. I'm going to share my screen. Unfortunately, for the folks on TikTok, you won't be able to see it. I haven't figured out software for that, but that would be great. But the proposal just came out, the final rule, okay, where they actually determine which application is going to increase how much, or even some fees actually decreased. So, of course, the more popular forms, most common forms did not decrease. Those definitely increased, okay? So, in effect, that's going to help pay people, right? People got to get paid. I know that a lot more people realize that during the pandemic. Right. So keep that in mind on the reasons why they increase the fee. Now, just a little bit historical context. Congress allows USCIS to increase the fees, to at least to check it every 2 years. So last time that there was a fee proposal was actually under President Trump. And he actually also wanted to include like a $10 fee for asylum seekers to file the I-589. But that didn't go through. So and it stopped, right? There's lawsuits on it, and mostly for that reason, from what I understand. But the last time it was actually increased, because y'all might be frustrated, and I get it. By the way, keep asking your questions in the comment section. I'll definitely get them in a bit. But I just want to share a little history. Is that the last time that the fees increased was 2016. So what is that, 7, 8 years ago? So it's quite a while. It's quite a while. So it's catching up to inflation just a bit. I mean, I'm still frustrated. My eggs cost a certain dollar. The milk costs a certain milk carton costs a certain dollar. Diapers cost a certain dollar. Because I have to pay for that for the kids. And those are continual costs. So, but at least, hey, when you apply for an immigration benefit like residency to become a citizen, removing conditions, that is a one-time fee. Good thing you don't have to pay that continually like food. All right, so let me share my screen and uh, let me share my screen so you can see this, and I'll definitely answer some questions. Okay, there we go. So this is the USCIS website. Folks on all the other platforms except TikTok can see it. This is the USCIS page where it mentions the announcement of the final rule to increase the fees. I'm talking a little bit softer because my son started making a noise. All right. So yeah, this is released earlier today, January 30th, 2024. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but essentially it does allow. So some very few applications are allowed to apply online. They do allow a $50 discount for that. Go figure. I mean, it seems weird for them to even allow um, online discount, and the reason is because it's not as simple as some people may think. Because it's I don't know, it just seems weird. For federal government, they don't seem to have the right vendors, technology vendors to help with this process. But most attorneys I know actually prefer not to file online. And there just seems to be more issues with it. So I don't know, maybe that's why they're offering $50 discount. Kind of funny how that works. But I'll try my best to answer your questions. But I think it's really important that y'all get the information about the fee increases. And you might be asking, okay, well, John, the first thing coming up, here's my fee chart that I created last year actually, but I updated it just now. Spent about 15 minutes on the more common forms that people file. So, for example, H-1B registration is coming up really about a month time, 30 days, March 1st. It's still $10 for registration. Thank God, because next year it's increasing to $215, right? So people who potential beneficiaries, foreign nationals who tend to get like more than one employer, potential employer to register for them, yeah, they're gonna think twice because now it's going to $215, and you're like, maybe I won't do that. Um, for example, I highlighted green. Anything that was a decrease actually from current fees, like applying online for naturalization to become a U.S. citizen is currently 725. That's going to down to 710. Okay, big whoop, $15 decrease. But hey, they decreased it. But that's for online filing. If you're going to paper file it, it goes from 725 to 760. Let's see what else. Renewing your resident card with biometric fee goes from 540 down to 415. Okay. But let me get to the other fees that thank you so much for your questions. No, I don't charge a consult fee. We have a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you, and I'll go into more detail about that. Thank you for asking. You're applying an I-130 on paper. It goes from 535 to 675. You file the 485 application. That's not allowed online. I mean, I don't know why, because it's so many pages. It's like one of the document forms that has the most pages. So they're really trying to save paper. You would think they allow that online, but no, they don't allow that. Still don't allow that option. They go from yes, and a booster. We'll accept cases where people live in any country, state, or town. Happy to help as long as you're able to. Don't mind the video meetings like this. Um, we use something like dial-pad. It's Zoom. It's very similar. Anyway, 485 applications, 1225 with biometrics. It's going to increase to 1440. Now, folks, here's the thing that I mentioned last year in prior videos last year about the fees. I kind of stopped talking about it because there wasn't much news about it until the past month. Um, Last year, they proposed to increase the fees for you file for residency when you're in the United States, meaning currently, when you file the 45 and you apply for work permit and travel advance parole, travel permission, essentially travel document, so many freaking phrases for that. You don't have to pay for those two. Okay. The EAD, the work permit, or the travel document, you don't have to pay for those currently. But effective April 1st, 2024. So what is that? 2 or 3 months? My math is a little hazy right now, late at night. Um, they mentioned in this, let me share my screen again. They mentioned in right here, let me type in search right there. Somewhere along here. Okay, folks, this is 586 pages for the final rule. No, I did not look at every single page. That would be ridiculous. I just don't got that time. I just go to high level stuff that affect my clients. Somewhere in here, essentially, I don't know why I can't find it. I'm sorry. Um, Okay, here it is. It's a little small. Let me try to increase it. This section here it says section 9 on page 10. If anyone's wanted to remember this, based on family based. Um, it said DHS had proposed requiring the full fee for the 765 and 131 when filed with the 485. Um, but now they're not going to charge both. It says DHS is setting the filing fee for 765 while concurrently with the 485 after effective date being April 1st, 2024 at $260. So if you go to my chart, um, it shows effective this column D here, D, and then yellow are the ones that are definitely the more common and increase the fee. I just put 260 for the 765. So really it appears to be, from my understanding, going to be 1440 for the adjustment of status application plus the 260 for the 765 plus the I-130 application. So 16, that's a little over, that's about like $2,200 roughly, okay? Whereas before it'd be 1760 currently. Okay, so what am I trying to tell y'all? Get your shit together. If you are eligible, let me see. I've got a poll here. Can I send out the poll? And then I'll answer some questions. I promise. I don't know how to send out the poll. I created it earlier. Does it show up on your end? The poll? I think I set a poll of have you filed your case or not? King Vamp, the increase goes into effect April 1st, 2024. No, it doesn't show up. Oh, I'm still learning TikTok. Pause my life. That's an option? That's kind of crazy. Why would someone do that? Uh, oh, cool. I can change my background. That's kind of cool. All right, didn't know that. Anyways, I don't know how I can. Is increase Moy? Thanks for asking. This is a great question. Are the fee increases going to make them work faster? Hypothetically, I mean, really, for people who apply for adjustment status here with the 485 application, they they have been processing faster. Most of our majority of those cases have the interview has been waived. Fortunately, right? It saves our client time. They're catching up. One of our clients just got approved. Let me check my team win chat here. Um, got approved today, and they filed a case no September 30th, 2022. And this is adjustment status. We call it concurrent filing. We file all the forms together. So we filed that case before the trend of the cases being waived interview, right? So a lot of people talked about like, what about my case from like 2022 before the trend, right? Well, we finally got one that I can remember these clients' names, and it was approved without a waiver. So it seems like they're catching up to the older file cases to waive that interview. Thank God. So because I know I got a few clients that are like, John, what the hell's going on with my case? And of course we had to politely explain it and all that. So folks, give us a follow if you appreciate the way I share information. If you're on TikTok, I know it's up here, and sometimes it pops up down here. And of course, all the other platforms, it's somewhere down here. Please, we appreciate it because it helps our channel grow. Gives me a little boosted confidence. Um, let's see. All right, now let me answer some questions because I could talk about these fees all day. Moy asks, "What is the I-130A?" Moy, it sounds like you have. I thought you filed your case already. But I-130A essentially, this is related to a spouse case. So the beneficiary, the foreign national, has to prepare that. Well, not, it doesn't have to prepare, but have to sign it. Let me see if I can scroll all the way up. By the way, folks, as you're listening to me answer some questions for y'all, just want to introduce myself real quick. If you're just now tuning in for the first time to Green Card Guys channel, my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States We have a physical office in Houston, Texas, okay? We're not a virtual law firm. We do have meetings like this, but we're not a virtual law firm. We have a physical office in Texas. You can find us. We have a Google page. We actually have two, one in Dallas area and one in Houston. So you can see we have over 300 five-star reviews. And it's because I train my team literally every day. They're probably tired of me talking about this. It's client service, customer service, okay? We got into this practice area, immigration, because we want to help people. Our mission is to help people live and work in America because uh, you know this. I'm gonna be making money anyway. But if I could make more money, I probably wouldn't be practicing immigration law. I'll be practicing something else, right? But I want a good life. I want to be able to have a life with family too, not be working corporate, sticking my neck out for the man for 80 plus hours. All right, what's up? Thank you so much. Kalsoon ask, should you send in your child's birth certificate? I don't know your situation, so I can't tell you yes or no. Maybe you should have sent it beforehand, but maybe typically you want to wait for the request of evidence. For some cases, if you have a receipt number that starts with IOE, you should be able to upload any more documents online on your My USCIS account. Sony, how long to take process parents petition? It just depends if they're here or abroad. If they're here in the United States, just like a marriage case to a U.S. citizen, it's going to be much faster. I would say average 12 months. But if they're abroad, it's really mostly dependent on what's going on in your embassy or consulate. R says you might need some help with your status. Currently waiting to file 45. Well, that's interesting. What are you waiting for? Is this something that's caused your delay? I don't know how to do the poll. I set it up. I don't know how to release it. Okay. What comes after biometrics? Yes, ask this question. It's your if you file the 765 or travel document application, it would be that combo card. Lately, I've noticed for clients telling us and receiving the office, they becoming separately. Okay. And that's actually a good thing. It used to arrive as a combo card, meaning one card, but I believe they changed the process last year, sometime in 2023 or late 2022, that they separate the process because when they had it together on one track, it delayed. And so because now they're separated, I've noticed it's been a lot faster. I don't know. I guess there was something stuck. All right, Lizbeth, is the estimated processing time on USCIS accurate? No, it's not. Definitely not. Because I mean, especially the one on your My USCIS account. I've called in a tier one customer service, which I don't wish anyone have to call tier one customer service. The 1-800-375-5283. Yeah, that's how many times I've had to call. I memorized the number. It's ridiculous. Okay. There's no special line for attorneys. There used to be. It used to be. I love that time because you could just press like four or whatever it is. But yeah, they don't have that anymore. I could talk on and on about that. But anyway, when I called to the tier one, I asked them after I talked to them about my actual case. I said, "Hey, by the way, clients have been telling me, or my TikTok audience has been telling me that their online account says something about like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and it keeps changing. Like, what the hell's up with that?" They're like, they feel bad, honestly, because they get a lot of calls. So, honestly, don't call USCIS to ask that question because it wastes their time and it's wasting your time. Whatever the timing shows on your My USCIS account is a lie. Okay? It's a lie. To USCIS, they don't give a shit. Okay? I don't curse often, but with y'all, I do because the government is ridiculous. Okay? It's ridiculous. Why would they even share it? They should just turn that feature off. It's not accurate at all. So it misleads people and it like makes it like if I were an applicant, I would want to call in too and say, what is going on here? Did I miss something? Like It's like when you order a pizza, right, with Domino's. I'm not sponsored by them, but by the way, if you work for Domino's, put in a word for me. I'm looking for sponsors. Um, but they have a pretty good system. If anyone's ordered from them or any other like food delivery type company that tracks the progress of a situation, the order, or Uber, Lyft, all those kind of apps, it's pretty freaking accurate. But USCI with the US government, they have all that money and they can't figure it out. They tried. Let's give them some benefit of doubt. They tried. All right, let's answer some more questions. Man, y'all, when y'all ask me some questions, I can go on and on about a tangent. Is it possible to join the military without the 551 card in 2024? To be honest, Kim, I don't know that answer. I don't know if you have to show proof of residency. Uh, I'm sure I can ask my buddy that's in the Navy SEAL. I think he's going to be a recruiter now. I don't know if you need to show the green card. Let's see. Do I know the process of getting a girlfriend from the Philippines a U.S. tourist visa as a U.S. citizen? Oh, from you for you. So I've heard, I've heard this thing like, oh, does the person need a sponsor letter? It really depends on the situation. I feel like it's counterintuitive to be honest, because the purpose of a person, an applicant, trying to explain to portray confidence to the U.S. officer, visa officer, that that person is going to return to United States. So if a sponsor, like a friend or significant other, is writing a letter like, "Oh, so and so is staying with me. I'm paying for all their food," blah blah blah. Then honestly, if I'm officer, I'm thinking, well, are y'all together? Like, are y'all gonna like? Is he or he gonna overstay and y'all gonna get together? Like, I just unless there's a different, like, like, an actual family tie, like a brother, a parent, a cousin or something, but I just don't recommend friends with benefits or significant others writing a sponsor type letter, okay? Mel G, hopefully you heard that answer. By the way, folks, I'm not gonna repeat any answers. I know sometimes my connection goes bad or not. I just for others who have been patiently waiting, I realize I just want to be as respectful for everyone possible. I'm not going to repeat answers. But if you missed it, then just come on a show again tomorrow. I'll try to go live tomorrow at 12 p.m. When you become a U.S. citizen through marriage, can you file for your mother to obtain GC? What are the requirements? Yeah, when you become a U.S. citizen, yes, and you can file for your parent whether the parent is abroad, outside US, or in the United States. But requirements, I mean, there's no like wait time in that sense. All right. How much is Y130 going to be? Yeah, let me see. I-130 if you file online is 625, if you file on paper is 675. We do not charge a fee for a strategy session, but that's for 15 minutes. Okay, folks. If you know that you need more than 15 minutes, some people think they need like 30 minutes, even though I don't think it may need 30 minutes, but y'all just want to reserve that time. You're welcome to do it. To be honest, we usually discourage it, but if you really need the 30 minutes, then I can't say the number out loud. Okay. It's 3 digits, okay, for 30 minutes if you wanna talk with me directly. If you wanna talk to one of my other premier associates, um, um, what's it called? If you wanna, talk to one of my premier associates, it'd be less cost. I can't, say it out loud on when I'm on TikTok or any of these channels. Let's see. I was chuckling because I swiveled my head to Instagram and I saw Tony's comment. What's going on, Tony? How you doing? Um, hey, congrats to your 49ers, by the way. What a crazy game. My goodness. Hey, let me know. Hey, if y'all are football fans, I don't watch it as often as I did before. I usually just watch the YouTube highlights, to be honest, but just because it's hard to watch a full game with the kids. But what's it called? Let me know in the comments. You think the 49ers are going to win, or what's the other team? The Chiefs? Who's your team? Oh, that'll be interesting. They both wear red, by the way. Okay, anyways, y'all don't want to hear about football on here. All right, my your fiance had an interview. They gave him refused visa on online. Okay, yeah, they asked. So if you have a case abroad and you have the interview, you especially if you're from a Middle Eastern country or maybe the Philippines, Iran, Pakistan, Russia, you're likely gonna get a request to fill out a form called the DS 5535. And I believe it asks for the last 15 years of employment, addresses, blah, blah, blah. And it's pretty ridiculous because you would think, hmm, why not just ask me to fill this out before the interview? It's a bit strange. It's a bit backwards, in my opinion. It's a way, in my opinion, it's a way for the government, US government, to further delay a decision on your case. So recently, I've had a couple motion to dismiss filed by U.S. attorneys, and these are anytime they file a motion to dismiss on our cases, which is recent. It's been a case where the applicant is abroad, outside the United States, and they always claim that when someone's a 221G, that means when it says visa refused online, that means there's a doctrine of consular non-reviewability, meaning case shut, can't review. There's already been a decision, but that makes no sense. There has been no decision technically because they asked for more information. It's just logical, in my opinion, but I guess that's why in America we have court system, so we can have arguments. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's my way of answering your question, Meg Reiner, 17. Um, I didn't really see a question. I guess you just told me the situation. Y'all are funny. Y'all just assume that I'm gonna figure out what to share with y'all. So hopefully that was helpful enough. But I'm just gonna guess your question. How long will it take after you send back that questionnaire? DS 5535 could take a month, could take 6 months, could take a year or more. Everyone's situation is different. So we generally, at this time, based on a recent case experience for that specific scenario abroad, we wouldn't file it before 1 year. Now, if you're very adamant, we'll talk about it. But generally, on our chart, is waiting 1 year after that visa interview. Okay. Oh, there's your question. Is that administrative process? Yes. Anna Boo said, yes, we're happy to accept a case where you live in California. We've accepted cases really where the clients can live anywhere in the world. Absolutely, can definitely help you. MSA, can you apply for a green card from asylum case before 1 year deadline? Well, you can apply for residency, whether it's family based or employment. Employment based is the one where it's going to be more complex because of timing. Now, the 1 year rule, when you say before 1 year deadline, that's specifically related to asylum. Okay, so that will help you prevent accruing unlawful presence. However, let's say you go all the way through the process for residency. A lot of people think you can file the 485 application because you're in the United States and because you filed asylum application before the 1 year deadline. Now, look, most attorneys are not going to go this complex explanation right now, but I've said it so many times, I've summarized it like this: the unlawful presence is no longer a concern. However, the 485 application requires maintaining status. There's a law, Immigration Nationality Act 245K. It only allows up to 180 days of not maintaining status. Okay. So the default then is that you have the consular process. All right, MSA, I hope you got that because I'm not going to repeat that. Not tonight. And I see that I'm losing followers because or losing viewers because I talk about complex things. So let me move it along. But if y'all appreciate the way I share information and go into it as honestly, I just try to go into it as quickly as possible in a succinct way. Give us a follow, okay? Up here on TikTok and down here, it pops down here. Or if you're on any other platform right here, you know what? Give us a thumbs up on your platform. It made me feel a little bit better. All right, London and Texas, what's up? Can your husband move to Canada while he waits for I-130 to be approved from Nigeria? Yeah, if the case is abroad, can move your spouse can move anywhere. But just keep in mind that depending what you marked on the form, on the petition form, it's usually like page 5 or 4, something around there. The case file after the I-130 is approved will move to that location. So if you originally put Lagos, right? Lagos, Nigeria, then that case file is going to go to Lagos, Nigeria. So that means even though he may move to Canada in the meantime, he's got to go back for the visa interview. Okay. It's not like they're going to email him and the next day has to have the interview. So don't worry about that part. The interview scheduling, there's usually like at least a couple weeks lead time, advance notice. Bean, why is prima facie letter taking so long, like over a year? Yeah, that's about right. I don't know why it takes a long time. I think just because of sheer numbers of applicants. London, thanks for the follow. Let's see here. Z, what are the options for J1 waiver if someone only done with fellowship, not residency? So I'm assuming you have the 2-year restriction on your passport. Um, so if that's the case, then there's a couple different waivers. You can first see it to the easier way is to first request a no objection letter from your consulate, from your country. Okay. But that's really just step one. There's a couple more steps after that. That's one option. That doesn't cost as much, less timing typically. Uh, but the other option is to file for a waiver. But also, it really just depends who your sponsor is, like if for residency. So this is just a lot more in-depth conversation that we need to have. Okay, Z. So contact us, and we greatly appreciate it. How are y'all doing tonight, by the way? Today is Tuesday night, January 30th. Alrighty. Tony says, I'm hopping over to Tony says, can I convince his wife that it's good evidence for remove conditions for him to go to Super Bowl? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything where you do things together, of course, you're gonna have to take your spouse, take a photo or two. Um, yeah, that'd be good evidence. That'd be cool. All right, let's see. It's Mary Saleh. Your husband applied for 485 back in September 2022, along with his work permit, but you haven't heard anything yet. Can you do anything about it? Absolutely. In this situation, it's about a year in 4 months. So it's almost time to file a lawsuit. Hopefully, you don't have to, Mary, but if that's your name, but see if your case is at a situation where you can submit inquiry. Check online, USCIS.gov. Go to tools and resources to see if they allow you to submit inquiry. But even if they don't, for a case like that, if it's about 18 months, so I don't think you're at 18 months yet, almost. But once it's 18 months, then it's a clear shot for us to file the mandamus lawsuit. Okay. We are very fortunate. And when it's any case in the United States, we've got the response usually 2 months or less. Okay. It could be the decision. We cannot guarantee that the decision is going to be approval, but we typically ask in a strategy session, how are you eligible? We verify that, even whether you had a lawyer before or you didn't hire a lawyer at all. Um, we even have law firms, other lawyers refer to us, but most of the time it's actually people who don't have a lawyer and they just want to verify. So you filed September 2022. So we had a client earlier. I don't know if you heard me say this. We had a client who filed September 30th, 2022. It got approved today. Okay, but they live in Texas. Okay, I believe in Houston area. So it's Mary Soleil. I don't know where you're at, but hopefully, hopefully you can clear through soon. Get that decision. User 7886. Hopefully you heard my responses about DS 5535, but not gonna repeat it. It's annoying to talk about, to be honest. But yeah, I'm familiar with it. Uh, thank you, Anna Boosted. Appreciate it. Am I Vietnamese? No. My wife is though. Uh, hey, what's up, Effie? My family's from Taiwan, if you're wondering. I forgot who asked. Effie, hey, what's up? What's going on? How's Austin? Uh, no response for your question. Okay, I haven't checked in a while personally. I have an executive assistant helping out with that. So I'll ask my cares team to check out your question. Sorry about that. So we're trying to ramp up a community that if you a Facebook group, okay, it's called. You can go to www.tinglawclub.com. Okay, join the club. We really want to have an active community where I know there's a lot of like blogs out there. You're sharing like your receipt date, file date, things like that. We're going to be more proactive to share our own cases, not our client names, just like the case type, the scenario, and the dates so that you have an idea. We also want to share with you the dates that we clients hire us and our filing day because we have three service plans: light, pro, and max. So in our internal process is to file your case in a specific time frame or less, right? So I want y'all to know that, because I've had a client tell me that I asked them, why did you decide to hire us versus someone else? And one law firm told them that they were going to file their case 5 months later. I was like, what the hell? That's ridiculous. I mean, how are you going to pay a whole set of fees and then wait 5 months? That would annoy me. Abraham, you want to know possibilities of EB2 with MS computer science, 2 year experience? Yeah, schedule a session. Our team can chat with you. That's hard to cover in a TikTok show. Oh, I'm sorry, social media show. Uh, hey, Mello and Bean. I know. Don't get discouraged, but here's the deal. Bean, you already applied, but for other folks, even if a lawyer tells you it's going to take X months or this long of a delay, do not delay to file your application because then, of course, inherently it's going to take longer. I know that sounds strange for me to say that, but some people actually delay because they're discouraged. So please file anyway if you're eligible. I am Damien. What happened if you apply for TPS, but you what happened if you apply for TPS, but you may or may not have a false claim for citizenship? Ooh. Um, I believe that more so is going to come into play when you apply for residency, but for TPS, I don't believe that's going to be an issue. TPS, I've had clients come to me when they already had crimes, so we had to go into if they had uh, crime involving moral turpitude. So hopefully, in your state, you weren't charged with a false claim to be a citizen. How long is IR1 if you're taking in Islamabad? I think it'd be the wait time after being DQ'd, documentarily qualified. And yeah, it's a hit or miss. I mean, it seems to be 6 months plus minimum. 6 months plus. Shoot. I appreciate all the questions. Let's see here. Thank you so much for your trust to ask questions. I'll probably stay on for 10 more minutes. Okay. See if I can go on for 10 minutes. Strawberry shortcake. You guys have some funny names. Can you apply for sibling visa? So a lot of people ask this question, and the thing that makes me think why you're asking this question is because are you in the United States? Yes, your sibling can file for you. If your sibling's a U.S. citizen, they cannot file for you if they're a resident. But the thing is, if you want to actually get residency here through your sibling, you need to maintain non immigrant status in the meantime. Because if you overstay your visa, you're going to run into needing to apply for a waiver. And unfortunately, siblings do not count as a qualifying relative, is what we call it. Children do not count as a qualifying relative. For the 601A waiver application for unlawful presence, you have to have a parent or a spouse who's a U.S. citizen or resident. Mary Saleh, you say you're in LA, so hopefully I hope so. I mean Houston, where I'm at, where this client was at. Yes, a lot of applicants. Our citizenship fee application fees increasing. What did I share earlier? Let's see, and 400. Yeah, about $35 if you file by paper. Otherwise it's 710, decreased by $15 you file online. Ronnie, you received a notice for 601A that they completed a preliminary review of your case. What the hell? I don't recall a notice like that. Like that's after you receipt notice? Interesting. Um, okay. How long ago did you file that application, 601A? So we recently just had some cases approved for 601A, and we filed that around like June 2020. So that's about a little over 3 years. Thankfully, not 43.5 months, as what they showed online. Oh, okay. So Ronnie had a follow-up, said the 601A case was sent to another service center. What does that mean? It's been 2 years for you. Okay. Yeah, your case is probably gonna take longer. So usually when they say transfer notice, move it to another location, it's really to balance the caseload of that office with USCIS. So it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But does that mean your case gonna get approved like 1 month after the transfer notice? Absolutely not. I wish that were the case. Hey, by the way, if anyone's like a social media or YouTube expert, I'm kind of curious, like why YouTube for a while, like in 2020, 2021, I was going strong with viewership there, but at least live, but it seems to be a little bit slower, even though I think I'm sharing pretty freaking good content here. Um, yeah, it's interesting. Seems like other influencers are favored. So if you have any feedback, please share. I appreciate it. This whole social media thing is confusing. But here, I've if you're wondering why I go live so often, I know some other lawyers don't go live as often, but they yet still have like a lot more followers. I don't care about all that. I mean, I think, obviously I'm assuming the more people follow, the more people will hear about it. But I before the pandemic, I attended Know Your Rights. I'm not attended, but participated in Know Your Rights workshops and also led presentations of Know Your Rights workshops. So just sharing information, I was always down for that. It just seemed a little different doing it virtually, right? Um, but anyways, back to the questions. Suman Singh, 589 pending since 2016. Holy crap. Oops. Okay, so what is that? About 7, 8 years? Ooh, yikes. Depending on the month you filed. So 7, 8 years. Okay, so we're actually about to file one that sounds similar to you. And we file several that are similar to yours, but even shorter than that. Our minimum time to file a lawsuit based on 589 pending, if now is 4 years minimum. So if you believe that your claim is strong, that you're confident, all right, then we recommend that authorize us to file a lawsuit for you, okay, so you can get that interview. It's ridiculous. I know it's ridiculous that you have to file a lawsuit just to get an interview. Um, But when we do that for asylum specific case, we tend to get that interview, at least the notice, in 2 months. Sometimes we had the interview like 1 month later. There's been a couple times it was like 6 months later, but we were notified about it 1 to 2 months after we filed a lawsuit. Now, not all cases are like that when we do mandamus, but I'll give you an idea. So we really encourage that you have a lawyer that represents you for the interview for asylum. Authorizing us for mandamus does not also mean that we're going to help you for the asylum. We don't do asylum. We have referrals that we know that they focus only on asylum. Okay. One of them is named Brian Manning. He's on TikTok and social media as well. I think his website could be like political asylum lawyer, or that's his brand. But he's a former USCIS officer, asylum officer, specifically. That doesn't mean he can guarantee results or his team, but at least he's had that background, right? It makes sense. I think makes sense to consider someone like that. Hey, Anna Boosted, you like to hire us, but because not but because you I care so much. I appreciate that, Anna Boosted. Are you're in California, right? Have you talked to our team yet? So, by the way, folks, um, if you haven't chatted with the team, I mean, I train my team about customer service as well. If you heard me say that earlier, so you can go to our website. I'm trying to figure something out to show it back here, the website, um, greencardguys.com. Click on contact us, or you can even, let's see here, it goes, or you can even DM us, especially if you're on TikTok or Instagram. It's a lot easier that way. But on YouTube and Facebook, all the other channels, I'm showing how you can do that. Okay. Appreciate it. Silvrio, what's up? Yum, is that the Filipino flag? All right. Can 245 apply with the new law of untimely filed extension of stay? I wouldn't consider it a new law. Untimely filed extension of stay and change of status request. That 245I is something different. It's not. I don't think it's related to what you're saying. Um, Yum, that's. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. That's like a situation you should probably call in because I don't know. 245I is a grandfather law that allows me to pay I think in Spanish you call it multa, a fine, basically $1,000 fine in addition to all the other fees, because you're basically saying, look, I entered without status, so I'm paying this fine because I'm eligible to adjust status based on a family member, for example, or it could be employment, but it's because a sibling, it seems to be typically a sibling back then, but you had to have a petition filed for you before April 30th, 2001. I don't know why I'm tapping my desk, like being adamant about the date. Um, or it could be based on employment too. Okay. Now there's a lot more requirements, but That's really what the purpose of 245I. So I don't know why you're referring that to extension of stay. Saphir family. Let's see if I can go back up. I thought I had it. When you pin comments on TikTok, by the way, it's doesn't really stay that long. Okay. Alejandra Marine, you're getting married next 90 days or so. Congratulations. Wish you all the best. Glad you find the right fit. Miguel, your wife is petitioning you. You're filing the forms. Yeah, that's right. But you, you gotta talk directly to us if you want to, um, because you could buy I-130, I-45, a work permit if you want to work. So look, folks, this is an example of why it's important to hire a lawyer. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Like, if you were going to schedule a meeting with a law firm and you want to find out exactly all the forms, like, look, I don't mind sharing with you here, right? But lawyers don't like to have meetings to tell you what forms to file. I think it's hilarious, to be honest, because um, that's why my team asks in advance, are you gonna do you want to file yourself or not? Because then it gives a better idea. We just want everyone to be honest, right? So I'm happy to share because USCIS online is ridiculous. Doesn't explain it that well. But there's five main forms. There's five: I-130, 765 work permit, also the I-130A, right? Most people forget about that. The old days, it was 635, 6325A for both people. That was a ridiculous form. So stupid. Um, Even the I-130 and the I-130A is kind of redundant, in my opinion. That's why they should just allow everything online, but they don't, I guess. The 131, 864, so that's five, right? And then the 485. So this is for someone who has entered the United States with a visa, overstayed. Okay, you can file before your visa expires, or your authorized stay, not the visa. Which, by the way, I-94 and visa are two different things, but even lawyers say it interchangeably. Okay, I was thinking going into a long explanation, but let me just answer some questions. Sandra, yes, you can file both at the same time if someone entered the visa on the last entry. So Miguel, if you've interesting, because Miguel says commenting back to Sandra, you were checking 45 says to submit your I-130 approval receipt. So that's what can be confusing for y'all. I noticed this because some people asked this. I was wondering why are you only filing I-130? So that's why I asked if someone entered the visa or not, the foreign national, because you can save a hell of a lot of time to file all together if the foreign national enter with visa, or you might qualify for exemption like 245I, but until a military program in place, on, right? So that's because there are several exceptions. That's another reason why to chat with an attorney one on one, in addition to TikTok. Um, which, by the way, folks, don't be shy to schedule a meeting with us. I know it can be. That's another reason why I like to go live is because this show, like, you're not gonna talk to a lawyer that's always stressed up, okay? I would love to be in my PJs right now, but I don't think it would be a good idea to show up in my PJs. But, I just wanna show y'all that, like, it's not all fancy pants, okay? We obviously are professional, but, um, this is chill, okay? Like, we wanna make sure we help you get legal status. And I get the feeling from some people that some people are shy to talk to a lawyer in general because, like, oh, it could be intimidating. No, we're chill, man. Sometimes that's why I curse. I just want to show that, like, our team is relaxed. We get our shit together to file your case, but also we're very upfront. Like, we had a client meeting. Client didn't understand our process, and we're trying to do better to explain it. And so keep in mind, if you're wondering like why some lawyers, so number one, we're transparent about fees, but some people think like, oh, does the contract include everything? Like, look, if y'all have your own home and you hire like a contractor to remodel your home, and you thought, oh, I wanted this type of sink, but then all of a sudden you're like your spouse says, oh, let's upgrade to that sink, or you want to do a little maneuvering that's different, like in a pantry, you might want to make it this size or that size. My point is, lawyers are like contractors. If you make changes to the strategy, it's going to change the cost. So just want to be upfront. There's very few times that we need to do that to change a strategy. Fortunately, don't have to change all the time. Um, Keep that in mind because in the contract, there's something what we call scope of representation. It's very specific. So if you deviate from that, that's like a contractor. You're doing a change order. So it's going to cost more money. And typically, it's not necessarily included in the original contract because it's something that wasn't contemplated before. Okay. Anyway, just got to share that because especially if you hire another lawyer or even our team, I think that's important for you to know. All right, Mama Do. Sorry, I showed your comment question and then I didn't get a chance to answer. If your immigration court dismissed in the future, you can have green card. That's, I mean, I don't know how you have to have a sponsor, Mama Do. So that's typically the best way to get your case dismissed too. If you have a sponsor, do you have a petitioner? And if you do have a petitioner sponsor, has that person filed an application for you? Because you're just like shortcutting like three questions into one. So if you're still here, let me know. I'm gonna look for your comment. Follow up. Borrowed drums on TikTok. You got your green card through marriage. You're withdrawing your asylum application. Can you travel home? No. Well, well, that's oh man. Good luck. I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't. I guess you could, but that's a pretty big question. I don't know if I could. I feel comfortable answering that because I mean, everyone that files up for asylum, I know that I'm assuming it's in good faith. Lawyers call it bona fide. The law calls it bona fide application. So if you truly have that threat against your life, then I can't tell you. I don't feel good to tell you, yeah, you could travel home. On paper, yes, you can travel home because you got your green card through marriage, not through asylum. So sure, you could, but like, I don't want your life to be on my hands. Okay. Please don't do that to lawyers and ask that kind of question. Cootie 3. Okay. This is a big deal, okay? Do online marriages recognized by USCIS? Yes, they are, but you have to consummate the marriage. You gotta consummate the marriage, okay? How would they really know? I don't know, but that's what they say. You gotta consummate the marriage after you get married. Interesting how they make that requirement. But for online marriage, in all seriousness, well, that is serious too. But in addition to that, um, anytime our clients have done a remote marriage, they haven't questioned it. But I have heard of other law firms or when people file themselves, that question has come up for some people, but fortunately not our clients. Jared asked, if you cross illegally, can you still file for U visa? Absolutely. Hell yeah. You can file U visa, VAWA, T visa, for example. Of course, I mean, if your facts are eligible, you can still get status even when you may have entered without a visa or legal documentation. All right, let me switch over to TikTok. I'm sorry, Instagram. Anthony said hi. You had your EAD last month. Congrats. I think, yeah. How long does it take to get approved for advanced pro and PR? You're on R1. I we don't have a flood of cases in R1, so it's hard to say if there's a difference on that timing or a flood, a stack of cases compared to like other cases. But if it's similar to any other residency case, then maybe a couple months later. That's what I was mentioning earlier. The processing for USCIS for advanced pro and work permit are in two different tracks. So it's like it's not necessarily the same anymore, which is a good thing actually. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be able to answer two more questions, but I'm looking at the time right now and it's 1 hour. Two more questions. All right. Appreciate y'all staying live with me here. Hey V, you requested expedite your asylum twice. I'm assuming you mean like for an interview due to bad health, but denied. Any tips? Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's strange. I know sometimes people are able to file request expedited for asylum interview sooner, but for most people, it doesn't work. So you have to file a lawsuit. Um, how long? How long have you been waiting? If you've been waiting at least 4 years, then we can file a mandamus lawsuit. We're happy to chat. We can figure something out to help you out. Um, let's see. Okay, one more question. Okay, I see a question on YouTube as well. Okay, I'll answer two more questions. Suka on YouTube, what's up? You have a final hearing, video conferencing hearing coming up, and the judge asked to see your taxes, fingerprints, and a letter from church showing your activities. Oh, okay. You have a follow-up comment. I don't see an actual question yet. Which, by the way, folks, last week we had a final hearing by video with a judge in Houston, or Conroe, Texas, for a detained client, approved in 5 minutes. Approved in 5 minutes. We prepared our witnesses, the family members, um, the children, the teenage children, um, siblings, did the whole 9 yards. This is the thing I learned in law school, the 3 Ps. Prepare, prepare, prepare. And the thing is, the judge read all the letters, read the package of evidence, and it just ended up approving it in 5 minutes. The kind of funny thing is that if he had not approved it, it probably would have got rescheduled because they did not have an interpreter ready to go. They were supposed to. I've heard this happen sometimes where, obviously for Spanish, they have such a common language for them to have available, the interpreters to be available. But for like other languages, boy, they have a tough time. I've heard of situations where they had to reschedule the trial because no interpreter. How ridiculous is that? The US federal government cannot get a freaking interpreter ready to go and they have to reschedule trial. Uh, but anyway, 5 minutes. That's all it took. You got to have a law firm ready to go for you. Your legal status is on the line. And if you want to, especially if you want it, not just for yourself, don't be selfish just for yourself. If you want to sponsor your family members because they're abroad, outside US, but if you do want to be selfish, you want to travel, have a good life in that sense, then you need to at least talk to a licensed attorney, immigration attorney. Look, if you get charged with a crime, you need to talk to a criminal defense attorney. If you want to sell your house, some states, I think you require a lawyer. Talk to a real estate attorney, right? Talk to a lawyer that's specific to that area of practice. I've seen time and time again. I just have too many stories. Okay. Okay, back to Suka. You've been able to gather some of your 1040s, but not all the tax years. Do you think the judge will reject all because of that? No. I mean, if you're able to have like the most recent tax years, I think that's fine, but it's more for good moral character to show proof of it, okay? You did what you could, but, is there a way to get your case dismissed or win it in 5 minutes? Let's chat, okay, Suka? Especially when you say it's coming up. Maybe you have a lawyer ready. I don't wanna step on anyone's toes if you already have a lawyer. Um, let's see. Uh, I have to answer a couple more questions. Thank you, Champion Gal on IG. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know it's a weird thing with medicine. I've been taking medicine regularly for the past like week, basically, but I felt more sluggish during the day, so I try not to take it as much today. But now at this hour, I feel like I gotta take it. I've been taking Mucinex. Okay, different breed. What if your U.S. citizen spouse doesn't like banks to get a bank account? What are the options? Dadgummit. Talk some sense into your spouse. I don't know who's a foreign national, but either way, if you want your case to have the higher possibility of having the interview waived, look, you gotta get some kind of financial account together. If he or she does not want to do the bank account together, maybe propose at least a credit card. Okay. What about savings account? I totally get it. I understand. I've heard of stories where the spouse may have I'm just trying to pretend doing the debit card thing. Withdraw money, then you can file VAWA. Okay, assuming you're the foreign national. Um, yeah, we've had VAWA wins on VAWA cases for green card on so many different types of like financial control, cheating, things like that. But maybe in terms of your specific case right now, maybe a credit card. You could try that, a joint credit card access. That's a lot easier. Hopefully that answered your question. Let's see here. Miriam asks on TikTok, you apply for I-130 case, stocks approved for NVC since 2022. 2022? What month? My goodness. So, assuming January, then that's 2 years. No interview date yet. So we actually have a case pending right now that they've been waiting. By now, it's been a year after DQ'd, and yeah, it's the government doesn't want to budge on that. So, but yours, I don't know how long you've been waiting. Let's see. You follow up May 2022. That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's still pretty ridiculous. I I hope you received. You said docs approved from NBC, so I'm assuming you got documentary, the qualified email. Okay, I hope so because it sounds like you did because we I recall one person contacted us. It had been several months after they got like the email invoice number and all that. Okay, great, you got it. But they didn't know that they had to upload documents. Yikes! So I felt really bad. They had waited so much time already. So for us, our team, as soon as we get the email notification, we notify the client same day. Really, because they get the fee, they get the email the same day as well, but in the same email thread. But we want to explain it, right? Get the ball rolling to do the next step. What you should do. I mean, we would file a lawsuit. I mean, that's what I would do. We've have one currently where we filed it much sooner than yours, and we're still waiting on that, unfortunately. But yours has been May to December. What is that? 7 months. So 19 months. That'd be interesting if you don't mind me filing your law a case for you. because that would be interesting. Um, 19 months definitely seems unreasonable to me. Let's chat. All right. Simran, and your individual hearing is complete, but decision pending almost 1 year and 3 months. What can you do? Did you file a 42B application? So I've had this happen for one of our cases. Where, if you got a pretty good feeling in court that the judge would make it this like approve your case, but they haven't decided, it's because the visa numbers are limited every year. I think for 42B through court cancellation removal, I could be wrong, but I think it's 10,000 visas per year. Uh, let's see. Cancellation removal, visa limitation. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, I'm wrong. It's 4,000. That's even less. So that's why they haven't made a decision on it, if that's what you filed. Wish you all the best. Uh, Anthony said he made a mistake. What kind of mistake? Um, I mean, if they said that they're gonna rectify it, then you're good. You don't have to do anything else. Hopefully, it's not a big deal. But which I'm surprised they even responded to you. Anthony sent it. Back to Suka. Your question was so long, split into two sentences. Yeah, I responded to your answer. Hopefully, you heard it. If you didn't, then let me know on YouTube. Let's see. Mufasa on TikTok. Did they raise them today? Yes, it was announced today, but it's effective. It takes into effect those increases for USCIS fees starting April 1st, 2024. Oh, that's interesting. That's April Fool's Day, but it's not an April Fool's joke. Um, it's happening. Okay. And I've been saying this on a live show the last past week because I infer that this was going to happen because the premium processing fees are increasing in February, and they announced that last month. So it just makes sense that they were going to increase everything else. I wish I could predict that Congress was going to pass a freaking law for y'all. Bianchi on TikTok. By any chance, can a tourist visa holder already in the US apply for EB3? There's a lot of steps involved. It's probably going to take 2 years minimum. But yeah, the process can start while you're in the US, but it's likely not going to end with you in the US unless you change status to something like H1B. But the high likelihood, it's a high likelihood that you need to return to your country at some point in the meantime. Araceli 601A, can it get approved if you have multiple illegal entries? No, it cannot. You have multiple, if you have that, you likely have a permanent bar. So you need to talk to a immigration lawyer 101 to verify before you file anything. May ask where we base. We are in Houston, Texas. I have associate attorneys, premier associate attorneys that live in different states. That's a great thing about immigration practice. We can live anywhere in the US and have a license in any state, and we can help you out. So, I hear this thing when you can hire people and work where they can work remotely, you can hire the best of the best. So, We are continually hiring attorneys to help you out. Let's see here. Dova, can you tell you how much it takes? You mean how long and the cost? I'm not as familiar with that process, and I don't know the cost, sorry. But the cost would be related to the 539 application for the change of status. But you could find out how long it takes on the, USCIS page, but you're probably not gonna like it, not like the answer. Adam Adam ask, "You're 45 pending since March 2023. You submitted your RFE for medical and birth certificate." Okay, that sounds pretty good. Um, there's no black and white timetable for that, unfortunately, to know exactly when you're gonna get approval. I wish. You submitted the RFE all the way back then? That's nuts. Do we handle NIW? Yeah, we accept very limited cases for NIW because it takes so much time, and also because a lot of people think they have a we basically share our checklist with y'all, the requirements as well, and a lot of people say they're qualified, but it turns out they're not. Okay, so, it's a depending on the country you're a national of, it still could take a long time, like China and India, for example. Stay lit, Cass. Stay lit, Cass asks, "Hello, sir. Good evening. Just want to ask if your employer doesn't pay you, fair case to file." So I think of T visa. T visa is also known as trafficking visa, and most people think that is only related to human smuggling. Okay, it's not just that, it's also labor trafficking in the sense that if a person has not been paid their full wages that they're owed, even if they were paid some of the wages, you can still file for T visa. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. Um, let's see. What's it called? Let's see. Stubborn Brad. Stubborn Brad, can you file for citizenship after 3 years if you got your green card through VAWA? Yes, you can. You have to be living in the United States for at least 3 years, not just that you had the GC for 3 years. Is there any way to expedite your 45? No, unfortunately. I've asked that before to USCIS. I saved you the time, so don't waste your time calling USCIS for that. But you can try to expedite your 765 work permit in 131. Mufasa, do I know why Texas applicants had to wait so long, even with the case being at NBC, National Benefit Center? Um, no, unfortunately, I have no idea. It's speaking of like service centers and whatnot. It if you think if you think your case is going to be at a specific location because like oh it just so happens that I live in Texas and my case got filed to or there's a list of Texas service centers included for your application, that does not mean your case is going to go there. Or if you're like you live in California and your case is going to go you're wondering your case is going to go California service center because online it shows a faster processing time. No, it's randomly assigned. Okay, and more so it's related on the case type application. So we don't get to pick and choose. Anna, thanks. Um, Anna, thanks. If you have the energy to like answer some questions that I've already answered for other people. That'd be great too. Um, what's VAWA? Violence Against Women Act, but it's gender neutral. Men can file for it too. The most common ways, by the way, is not necessarily physical abuse. It's financial control and cheating. Okay, it's not just physical abuse. Let's see. 601A update. Yeah, most people are waiting 43.5 months. We had clients approved about 36-ish months. Let's see. But by the way, this is a good time for me to ask you since we're at an hour 20. I thought I was going to get off 20 minutes ago. My goodness. Um, what is it called? If you're on TikTok, follow here or it might pop up down here. Okay, check out the profile. If I don't answer your question today or any other day, you're welcome to DM us. But really, the best way to make it as streamlined as possible. Love connecting with y'all. But if you want, faster processing and whatnot, I'm all about processing times. Y'all know that is is to go to our website, greencardguys.com, and go to the contact us page. Okay. Happy to help. Now, please know the first person that you're going to connect with is not a lawyer. Okay. We would pretty much like just pass out every day if we were the first person you talk to. It's a CARES team specialist. They're not lawyers. They're going to ask you some more questions to verify your situation to really just make sure that we can help you. Because if we can't, we'll just refer you to someone else. We don't want to waste your time. Um, y'all are funny. User 8368 is DACA Advanced Parole safe? I think I understand why you're trying to say that. Are you trying to get residency through DACA Advanced Parole? We've had clients re-enter with it. Okay, and so that can show proof of entry. But of course, first make sure you have a valid, unexpired at advanced parole by at the time you travel. Okay, and it could just be like literally 1 day or less than a day, 1 hour. And you just want to get that stamp of reentry. Let's see. Okay, good. Glad you got it approved. Misa's renovations or Misa renovation. Oh, see, maybe you know about change orders that I was talking about earlier. It came with H-2A visa expired years ago. Your wife is a U.S. citizen. Can I petition for you? Yes. Take advantage of that. Ms. Royalty Blessed, where we located? Houston, Texas. Formerly from Dallas. Stay lit cast. Yeah, I answered your question. I thought you heard my answer. You're working 18 hours. Give it to the guy. Why are you working 18 hours? That's crazy. I mean, I work like 18 hours. I need to go to sleep now. What's up, Sophia? How does your boyfriend get citizenship? That sounds like there's a lot of immigration history there. Held in immigration, like a detention center? Are you in it for the long haul? How good is this guy to you, by the way, Sophia? If you're a U.S. citizen or resident and he's good to you, then let's chat more. But if he's a waste of time for you, I'm just kidding. 10 years ago. Yeah, let's check that out. Hopefully you enter with a visa because that would definitely save you a lot of time, stress, and money. Let's see. Okay, well, y'all, he's gotta put a ring on it, huh? For you to sponsor him before you're very nice to even show up live here to ask that question before he put a ring on it. Okay, so Maria, you have DACA and your brother's petition you can apply. I mean, your brother can file for you, but um it's not the ideal way because you have to maintain status, lawful status. And unfortunately, even though DACA can stop the unlawful presence, that's not considered lawful status in terms of maintaining status. I know it can be confusing. Um, Good night, Ali Boo. All right, folks. I greatly appreciate it. 11 years delay. What is going on? 11 years delay for what? What did you file? Okay, folks. So, by the way, for example, like this, you got to, when you fill out my form, okay, it's a short form. Please give this kind of detail, give more information so we can help you. All right. Um, how long after biometrics appointment do you get a work permit? I through marriage. It could be 3 months, 5 months. It's hard to say. Not every case is the same. And you might get the green card, resident card before the work permit. That'd be better. U visa, like 6+ years right now. All right, folks. I got to head out. Y'all gonna keep asking questions, so I appreciate it. Um, thank you so much, Suka on YouTube. You don't have to have all the tax return form stuff because that'd be crazy. Just provide as much as you can, okay, Suka on YouTube if you're still on. All right, I'll have a good one. Follow for more. Take care. Peace.